So, Jonah, will you care to say the next number?
Okay. Number 3.
Tomb Raider. And before you say anything, no, it's not that 2013 reboot. It's not even the 2006 anniversary one. It's the one and only original on the PlayStation 1, not hands down. Now, here's the thing. This is probably the most biased I'm gonna get, okay, because I put this game so high on the list compared to most of the platformers in this list, and especially Metal Gear Solid, but I say it's more of the atmosphere of the game rather than the gameplay itself, and that is probably the most biased I'm gonna get in this list. Because I really like, controlling. See, Lara Croft was probably the most well-known female icon in the 90s, and this is the best portrayal of her character that we're ever gonna get. I mean, she wasn't a tough girl tomboy stereotype, but she wasn't an overly sex symbol that she is now.
She was a tomboy stereotype in the American re-release. that
Yeah,
anniversary
but,
one, was it? Yeah.
yeah, but in the original game, she was like, "Yeah, I'm a woman, so fucking what?" See, that's what I really loved about her in the game, and that's not the only reason. I think the level design has really aged well with all the puzzles to solve, and especially all the variety of dangers and enemies to face. Like that really pumped up the atmosphere right away, and especially you've got deadly traps, you've got predators from the animal kingdom like wolves, bears, tigers. Well, I don't think tigers are better than game. Lions, gorillas, and all that. Especially the dinosaurs. Oh god, when I first played this game, that friggin' scared the crap out of me with the T-Rex.
Is it
Because
because of
it
the
just
music? Is it because of the music or the way he just shows up?
a mixture of both. Because you really didn't know he was going to show up in the level. He just appeared and roared, and then the music started going up. Oh god, I actually switched off the PS1 game, the PS1 right away. Although I forgot to save my file because of that, so I had to start the whole game again. Damn it. So, and let's be honest, this Lara Croft has fought way more than Nathan Drake has ever done.
Oh yeah,
Remember that, Adam? We
yeah.
talked about that.
It's no wonder that Lara Croft beat him in that Super Beatdown series on YouTube.
Pretty much, yeah. And and here I like to call Tomb Raider the loner's game. By that I mean you control one character who has no help with her at all. She pretty much relies on herself, and you fight all these dangers in the game. And I really love that kind of idea, since I can. Okay, I'm a bit of a loner in real life, but that's why I can identify with it more. I can identify with Lara Croft a little bit, even though that sounds really awkward because I'm a guy and everything, but
Mm.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, for the sequels, I on the PS1, I thought they were all right, but they didn't really leave a lasting impression on me like the original did, and I don't care about the next gen games after that. I pretty much didn't care to think they existed anyway.
The newer ones, they're like a lot of quick time events, a lot more action oriented.
Quick
Oh,
time
yeah.
events.
Oh, quick time. Cheapest way to put something in a game.
I hope the inclusion of Tomb Raider didn't upset either of you two.
That's just something I'm quite used to, especially in video
Really?
games. Even though it is one of the most cliches.
Mm-hmm. So, what else is there to say that I haven't really mentioned? Oh yeah, there's also, well, I mentioned that this is a loner's game. Like you really feel vulnerable in the game, and and instead of using, going in for a quick attack and shoot, 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 blah, 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 you have to rely on patience and smart thinking to get through the obstacles. That's something I've always liked. Maybe it's just me, but
So you pretty much like explorations and a little bit more variety, pretty much, right? Or
yeah, as long as it's done right. I mean, as long as they don't do it too much, because then you're pretty much jumping the shark and
yeah,
everything.
that's true. Oh yeah, by the way, what about the controls in the game? Like, because from what I've heard, not a lot of people like they think the first game doesn't hold up well in terms of the controls. So wizard.
I can see where they're coming from because Lara pretty much controls like a tank in this game.
Hmm.
I didn't really mind it a lot. I mean, I did get used to it. So, and when I did get used to it, I pretty much had no troubles controlling her.
Right.
But I will admit, the one thing in the game that really didn't age well was the combat system.
Uh,
And
Combat.
that's the reason why I think Tomb Raider 2 was not as good as the original, because they put so much of an emphasis on the combat system
Huh?
with all the shooting the guys and everything. I didn't really like that.
Not
okay.
at all. Not at all.
So yeah, say what you will about how this game doesn't really age well, but I still think it's a classic. I still think it has a really good atmosphere for it. It might be biased because it's probably my type of game, as I've mentioned before, with the whole, loners game thing and everything. But I still think it's aged well in most parts, except for the combat system.
Okay.
Which is why it's only number 3 on this list.
It's one of those
So-
games I've been meaning to play for a few years. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, and I know Jonah, you haven't played this game, but you really did like the music,
Yeah, I would say the music is really great.
especially since it's scary. I mean, the game is for the most part silent, but when it does make music, it really does bring up the atmosphere a lot as well,
Oh yeah.
especially the scary music.
Yeah, the scary music, in my opinion, was like my most favorite part of the game.
hmm Alright, that's pretty much all I have to say here. I still think Tomb Raider is a classic, the original one, and I don't care what Nick, I don't care how many of you people who like to gush over the 2013 remake say, I'm sticking with the original, and that's me.
I'm
So-
tempted to play it because it's on sale on Steam, but I technically have like a home heritage thing to Tomb Raider because what was the company that made Tomb Raider? Something beginning with C.
Core design?
Yes, they were based in Derby, which is where I'm from, and we actually have a street called Lara Croft Way.
Oh wow.
I might see if I might tweet a picture of the sign. So the from my
Oh, so everyone follow to see that.
Okay.
Alright then, so that's Tomb Raider. So, Lindsay, care to say the next number?
which is
Number 2.
Now, this one's a tiebreaker. Sly 2, Band of Thieves, and Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves.
Interesting.
And I know like I said, it's my list, so I can do what I want. I can add tiebreakers. Now, you all knew this was coming. Everybody knows me that I'm a huge Sly Cooper fan. But I always used to say that Sly 3 was my favorite. I mean, I really love Sly 1. It's just, the whole life system really didn't fit in with the game. Whereas games like Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank didn't have that, so I figured the first Sly game could have done without it. But anyway, with Sly 3, I always used to say was my favorite, as I repeated already. But here's something I've noticed every time I play this game and Sly 2. Whenever I play either one of these games a lot for a few days, I always get the feeling like, oh man, I miss playing the other game. Like, for example, when I play Sly 2 a lot, I'm like, oh, I miss playing Sly 3, and then vice versa. See, that's always confusing. I don't know what that is.
Mm,
Maybe it's just because both games are equally
you could
equally mean a lot to me, I guess. I mean,
well, you could have cheated and put Sly Collection as that number.
no, no. I want to choose the two games because they mean a lot to me the most, and especially and Sly 1. But
What about
I
4?
still. Oh yeah, 4. Yeah, I've already mentioned my opinions on that, but 4 was really good, but it's just the story in that game just really dragged it down for me.
And if you'd like to know more, you can watch Ragged Star's Let's Play of it here on It's Tale Time.
Pretty much,
There
yeah.
we go.
But anyway, on to Slide 2 and 3. Okay, I know a lot of people nowadays say Slide 3 is their least favorite because they say it's added way too much stuff in it that it dragged down the whole stealth platforming thing. And when I played it again, yeah, I kinda agree. It really didn't have as much stealth platforming as Slide 2 did. Slide 2 really did have the most definitely the most stealthiest out of the game. But here's the thing. I always liked the missions in Sly 3 better than Sly 2 because they were more challenging and less tedious, and I feel that they put a lot more effort to them. Like you had different tasks to do in one mission instead of just one. But I will admit, I did Sly 2 was the most nostalgic for me, and like I said, I know nostalgia doesn't always equal good. But yeah, I really, like I said, I do agree. Sly 2 was the most stealthiest, so that's why I'm making it a tiebreaker here. Plus, in Sly 2, I really didn't like only a few of the missions, like the turret missions. Whereas in Sly 3, they really did add the unnecessary 3D gimmick in the multiplayer. Oh god, the multiplayer was atrocious.
Oh, yeah. I totally
Thank
forgot
God.
about the multiplayer. Oh my.
I almost completely forgot about the multiplayer, and thank God I didn't try it out.
Yeah.
It
And
really did
3D.
feel rushed.
And the 3D, like, I'm glad it was an option and they took it out in the HD collection, which is a good thing. So, yeah, I totally forgot about those features in the Sly Cooper games.
I think the main flaw in Sly 2 I had a bit of gripes with was the level design. Now, the level design was really good, except for the fact that it was more designed for Sly, so when you play as either Bentley or Murray, it really got tedious to get around them, so Sly 3 really did improve on that. They made the levels a bit more balanced out for each playable character.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I definitely agree. It seems like Sly 2's only focuses mostly on Sly, and when it came down to Sly 3, it made it work for all the different characters that you play as in the game.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, yeah, and much like with Spyro 3 and Sonic Adventure, I didn't mind the other playable characters like the Guru, Penelope. Well, you don't play as Penelope yourself, you play as our little gadgets. Panda King, and Panda King. Well, I will admit Dimitri was a bit annoying, but he only gets 2 missions in the game anyway, so he doesn't really take up too much of the whole game.
Yeah, then the control scheme for Dimitri was kind of awkward.
Oh yeah, I
Oh yeah.
agree. I hated the controls in that. Like the first time I played it, I raged. I'm like, "What am I doing wrong? I don't understand." And
TMcBee Rage?
yep, yeah, I rage.
It was a bit. It was just as bad as the controls of the tank in the Tangled Web in Slide 2. I
Oh
hated
yeah.
I hated the control in the tank. I had the one where you have to use both analog sticks to steer it.
Oh yeah. I thought it was I thought it was the back R2 and L2s, but no. But now that you said that, it's like yeah, it was both the analog sticks. Yeah, I remember that. But I think I got used to it when I replayed it. So I'm like, I just have to have my brain focus, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, fair enough there.
Yeah.
In terms of stories, in terms of the storylines in both games, as with how well written they are, I say they're equal. They're on equal terms with each other. Sly 2 for having the most plot twists, and Sly 3 for its character development and having a bit more insight on the Cooper family and with the whole Cooper Vault thing.
Oh
I
yeah,
did I did like that a little bit better than having Clockwork again in the second game, but like I said, they're both equal because Sly 2 did have more plot twists.
That's true.
yeah.
If
I did.
only, if only
I'll
we can
say.
get the two. Sorry.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, I definitely agree. Both of them are particularly equal, uh, and I have no arguments there. I mean, as much as I said that Sly 2 has a really good story, but I also gotta admit, Sly 3 did do pretty well in its story in terms of the character development. So, yeah, no arguments here.
I know a lot of people like to say that the villains in the second game were better than the ones in the third game. I do agree with that, except for Don Octavio in the third game. He's the most underrated villain in the Sly Cooper
Oh,
series.
I loved playing playing in Sly 3's Opera of Fear. I really liked that, and I did consider finding the boss very good.
Definitely. I mean, a lion that can sing opera and turns into a mob boss. Every argument you have is invalid there.
Can't go wrong with that.
So we're all going to the opera after this.
Pretty much. So yeah, guys, I really just can't decide which two of these games I like the best. I mean, they both really mean that well to me.
Well,
Because, you know,
well, it's simple. We just need to get the two games to do a fusion dance.
A fusion dance. Okay, anyways.
Dragon Ball Z reference.
the whole
Oh.
I play this game and I miss the other game thing has really become a never-ending cycle for me with these two games, no matter how old I get.
So why don't you just have two TVs and two PlayStation 2s right next to each other, and every time you get the urge, you just pause the game and switch.
That would take too much electricity.
And
Oh,
time.
you. Oh,
And
nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much. So I can understand a lot of people out there will say, well, Sly 3 is their least favorite because of the too much things that they added, and a lot of people seem to think that another reason that they say Sly 3 is the weakest is because of the lack of clue bottles. But
You are the
I
weakest
kinda
link. Goodbye.
yeah, well, a lot of people say that the absence of the clue bottles in the third game were a big deal. I don't really agree because there were. I thought that they didn't really. I guess it didn't really bother me too much.
No, I agree. Like sometimes collecting the bottles can be a pain. I'm not gonna lie. Even in Slide 2, like even finding them, just like which one was the last one again? Like it's really you have to really know the area so well in order to find all of them. So it's just very tedious and a lot of noise happening over there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Some of the clue bottles in some of the episodes were a pain in the ass to get. Every time I keep hearing it, I'm like, how do I get up there? What do I have to do? And you have to go explore everywhere to know whether you have to you have to look around and the whole hub and you can find them from there.
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
much
much.
what Team McBee saying.
Hmm.
Yep. All right. So yeah, but I still admit, I still agree with a lot of people. Sly 2 was definitely the most stealthiest of the game, which is why I consider it on equal terms with Sly 3 in terms of my favorite game in the series. So I'm sorry, guys. This is still a tiebreaker. I just can't decide. My brain hurts just deciding about it. So let's just. I just want to be. I just want you guys to be cool with it, please.
Hey, I'm
Okay.
fine, and I'm fine, and I'd like to thank you and Gexa for inspiring me to play the Sly Cooper games. And I only got Sly. I haven't tried out Thieves in Time yet, but I really enjoy playing both Sly 2 and Sly 3. So
Indeed.
thanks a
Well,
lot.
you're welcome. You're welcome, dude.
Okay.
And okay then, and we're at the last one. So, TMcBee,
It was
take it
funny
away.
because I said number 2 the last time, so maybe Female Red should say this one.
Did you?
Yeah,
I thought
and
it was.
you said
you
number
did-
2, and then you just went right away.
Yeah.
Was it
Final one listen to it.
She asked what number it was. Team McBee told her, and then you just kind of took that and ran with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
yeah.
Sorry. All right, Lindsay,
Well-
you go ahead and say the next one. That was my bad.
You get the best one, Lindsay.
Oh yeah. Number 1.
My favorite game of all time is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Hi, Gex up.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up. Okay? I have my own reasons for having this as my favorite game, okay?
Okay,
I have my own reason.
okay, anyways, let Zuki explain.
Right, I'm gonna say this right now. In terms of the GTA games, San Andreas is the most unique out of all of them. I mean, because it's not always about killing pedestrians and jacking cars and all that stuff. It doesn't just focus on violence, which I am thankful for. It also focuses on a really well written story that's very compelling, actually, because it has like the character CJ, also known as Carl Johnson, going out of, looking beyond life from his gangster lifestyle and seeing what the world is really like. That was deep, and I've never seen another game like GTA San Andreas pull that off, unless there's something else out there that I'm missing out on. But anyway, and the characters were really memorable and unique. Like you had Wuzimu, the blind Chinese guy. You had the Truth, that weird hippie who always gets on crack. OG Loke, the wannabe rapper, and also the Justin Bieber of rappers, if you want to call it that. And a scary FBI officer named Mike Torino, who's voiced by the awesome James Woods.
Oh, really? No, that I
Yeah, he was voiced by James Woods.
I did not know that. I know there's a crazy voice cast in San Andreas.
Well, they do have a lot of celebrity voiceovers, but they didn't just do that just to, make money off the game. They actually fit really well.
Yeah.
My favorite definitely being Samuel Jackson as Tenpenny, the main villain.
Yeah, which I heard. I haven't played San Andreas, but I know some information about it. So.
And as you can probably tell, I've put a lot of games that I really love exploration factor games, and I think San Andreas offers the best because not just because it's the biggest, but you don't just explore a city, you also explore the countryside and the desert as well. That was just amazing and really gave a lot of freedom to explore those. And oh yeah, and the soundtrack. Now, this game was set in one of the most beloved decades of all time, the 1990s. Well, this game is set in 1992, so it's filled to the brim with many many songs from that decade. Mainly rap songs and rock songs, but it also has old country music in the game. When you turn on the radio, K Rose, it played country music, and I'm gonna admit right now, if it weren't for San Andreas, I would never have gotten into country music. I wouldn't be the country music fan I am right now.
Oh, interesting.
Thank you.
That's something that no other video game has ever done for me. Get me into a music genre.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Definitely.
is interesting in terms of country, because country is known to be like the saddest or one of the least appealing music genres that are out there. So that is a shocker right there.
Mm-hmm. And also, I always like switching to K Rose every time I go into the countryside. It just really gives a really good feeling down my spine. As awkward as that sounds, but never mind. Anyway, so, and also the variety of missions you can do. It's not always just shooting or killing people. It's also like racing and also learning to fly a plane. I know a lot of people got annoyed by that, but I kind of got used to it. Maybe I'm easy to get used to things, but I don't know. And I think one of my favorite missions was sneaking into a military base and stealing the jetpack. Oh my god, that was the most memorable mission. Well, one of the most anyway, that I played in the game. And like I said, and let me be honest, guys, even though this game is almost 10 years old now, it's going to be 10 years old this October, but I still never get bored of exploring the whole game, even after all these years. Never. Once. Not once. Because you had and Las Venturas, the city that was based on Las Vegas. I also really like going into the casinos and doing that. That was a lot of fun to do as well. And I should also talk about the customizations, and the RPG elements. I've never been a fan of RPG elements, but they really worked here when increase CJ's muscles and his stamina and all that. That really added to the replay value, especially because even when you've done all the storyline, there's still a lot more to do. Even some of the side missions that were part of the story, that you don't even need to complete them in order to beat the story and all that. But it's just, I don't know. San Andreas is just the definitive video game for me. In my opinion, okay. I'm not saying it's the definitive game as a fact, but it just is for me.
But as an opinion.
As an opinion, of course, yeah. Now, I have played both the PS2 version and the PC version, and I do prefer playing the game normally on the PS2 version, but San Andreas on the PC has a lot of fun mods to use. I don't even bother with PC mods a lot, and San Andreas is the only PC game I play that I do mods on, because they're really fun to use. They're really fun to, poke fun at.
Yeah. Okay.
And also the online multiplayer. Okay, I've never really played the online multiplayer, but it's still played on to this very day. and people still make videos of it on YouTube, even to this day. I'm not joking right there.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's GTA, so of course there's going to be that huge fan base that's going to still continue playing
Oh
that.
yeah,
well,
definitely.
Well, everybody likes to gush over GTA 5 now. I'm sorry, but I'm sticking with San Andreas. I don't care what you people say. It's my.
That's all
Whoa,
right.
whoa, whoa! What do you mean, you people?
Honestly,
No, I'm not you people, not you people in the call. People out there that are
The
probably going to be.
fact,
of course.
like the bratty fan base.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, and at least when I explore the game, I don't get interruptions from, you know, other characters in the game. Unlike GTA 4, and I don't get a phone call from like, "Hey Nico, you want to go for a drink? Okie dokie, maybe later." And just
Didn't Gexup say that once?
yeah, I kind of got it from him, but I didn't know what else to say to make fun of that.
Yeah.
So
And you,
yeah,
and wasn't
Roman
there
Bellic, I fucking
wasn't there
hate
a
you.
co-op around where wasn't there a a co-op two-player around where the desert is?
It's in it's in the city levels and the country and desert levels. Yeah, you can play two-player co-op. That's in the PS2 version. I'm not sure about the Xbox version. I've never played the Xbox version.
I
Maybe they did
just
have it, but
I
I'm not
just
sure.
really miss the two-player in San Andreas. But at least that we get to do some online co-op on GTA 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Adam. I know you like playing GTA 5 a lot, and I do only for the online multiplayer though, because to me the main story just doesn't interest me as much.
Hmm.
At least in my
Well,
opinion.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, the story though was the story though in GTA 5 was for the very first time was the story I that caught my interest. It's mostly because of the characters.
hmm Oh, I neglected to mention that the story also has a lot of subtle conspiracy theories that really made it dark.
Really?
And gave a lot of people the willies, especially, with the character Mike Torino. A
Our
lot of
Mike is in the
a
house.
lot of philosophy in those cutscenes. Wow.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Then again, I think a lot of other games had that as well. But but I'm just saying it right now, people. San Andreas with a awesome story, great exploration factor, fun gameplay. I just can't find anything wrong with this game. At least to me. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, the graphics are so terrible compared to GTA 5." Oh yeah,
Oh
What
come
we
about?
all
on,
know.
that's
But what?
if you're gonna say that's awful. Well, sorry, I don't want to bitch or anything. Using the word awful is not the right word. I would say outdated.
Well, yeah, they are outdated, but I don't care really,
Yeah,
because the other stuff in the game is enough for me to
that's true.
love it as a whole, and I'm just proud to call it my favorite game of all time. And Rockstar, if you're Rockstar North, if you're listening to this, I fucking salute you, man. I fucking salute you.
And you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
well,
chow.
I not in that way, not in that way,
Well,
not in the
I would
fanboy stuff.
salute Rockstar with not only to San Andreas but also to GTA 5 as well. So both of those games.
I'm only saluting Rockstar North because of San Andreas anyway.
Uh-huh.
And I'll admit, even the other games in the series like Grand Theft Auto 3, and I know Grand Theft Auto 3 really revolutionized a lot of the gaming industry a lot, but I don't know, there's some stuff in it that it really didn't really do much for me anymore.
Ah.
GTA 3 doesn't really do much for me anymore anyway.
Mhm.
Not even Vice City as well.
Does that whole minigame controversy deteriorate your love of San Andreas any?
Oh, the hot coffee.
No,
Oh god, no, the hot coffee mod.
hot
No, no.
coffee. No, I'm talking about that one you could access with a
Racist.
Game Shark that gave it the AO rating for a bit.
Oh, but I did
I
not
never
know
knew
that.
about that actually.
Yes, for a short time, San Andreas they had to rise the rating to AO, and all game stores pulled it off the shelves because of it.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
there was a little mini game thing that actually was taken out of the game, but you could still access it with a hack or a Game Shark.
Oh.
It was if you don't know, it's better you don't know.
I should also that reminded me. I should also mention the cheats as well. Like, I don't really use the cheats for the missions because let's be honest, you shouldn't do that if you want to be called a true gamer. But when I'm done with the game as a whole, I do use the cheats a lot, and they're really fun to use. Like the flying car and the making the pedestrians right and everything. Like even though they did do that in the storyline as well, but you get to do it a lot after you've done the game as well. It really made the game intense and fun to play.
Yeah,
And I know a lot of people will think, "Oh, you're just saying this game's your favorite just because Gex update." No, I gave my own reasons why, and let's be honest, people, we all love ice cream, right?
Yeah.
So we must be
Uh-huh.
plagiarizing. We must be plagiarizing everyone then because we all love ice cream. We all share the same opinion about ice cream.
I'm okay. I'm okay about ice cream.
Yeah, I'm in between. So, but I still like ice cream anyways. Oh, somebody. Oh, it was Cendoo.
Ah, right, you're giving me the link. Ah, okay.
Don't read that on the air if you don't want to. It was back in 2005-ish. Yeah, they've since released the updated version.
Okay.
So yeah, just with the great exploration factor and being set in the 90s and everything, and that really made you feel like you've really gone back in time and revisited that decade. A compelling story. Okay, okay, I repeated that already, but come on, guys.
Well,
It's just the main reasons why I'm calling this game my favorite game of all time, and I don't see my opinion changing anytime soon.
if ever.
There you go.
Well, that was a mouthful.
Yep.
So, guys,
That's
that
up.
was that was my top 12 favorite games of all time.
Now let's all give a round of applause for Zookstar.
Thank you very much.
We went through.
All right.
Unless
Finally did this after 2 years of deciding, and I'm glad to get it out of the way, and I'm glad to finally make another video after all these
it's not out of the way.
years.
Well, it's not out of the way until you've edited it.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
still. But there you have it, guys. I do apologize if I talked way too much about these games, but come on, they are my favorite games, so of course I had a lot to say, and I'm glad I brought you guys in the call in this, so you could share your opinions as well.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
It's actually been a lot of fun. If I did this solo, it probably would have been a bit boring, so I'm glad I did this with you guys.
Yeah, there you go. So it just made things a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know we wanted to let you like say your opinion, so that's why we try not to interrupt you. So
I know.
yeah.
So now, as I move forward in life to pursue other interests in life, like maybe a career in story writing, that's what I'm definitely looking forward to because I do have a passion for story writing, especially since I'm now doing written reviews now because I find that a lot easier and more my kind of thing than video reviews. But even so, I will still play these games, these 12 games in my spare time, and remind all the great days that they gave me and how much they really mean a lot to me.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep. You've joined the written only club with TMcBee.
Thank you very much. Join the club, yes. So, I'm. What am I saying now? I don't know what else to say. No.
Say something emotional.
Oh yeah, I should also mention this is at the time of this recording. This is my 7th year anniversary on YouTube. That's friggin' scary, man. Since 2007. Again, how much time flies, man.
Flying way too fucking fast, I'll say that.
Honestly, I always thought they would just go way too freaking slow.
So yeah, I kind of did this for my 7th year anniversary, so hope that really caps it off. Even though I also plan on doing a history, like inspired by Chief Shadow here. He did a 5th anniversary and his history on YouTube, and also talked about what his favorite videos were from that year.
Yeah, my 5 favorite videos from 2009 to 2013.
Yep, feel free to check that out. And I might have mine sometime. I can't make any promises because, I'm shite at keeping promises. But it's good to finally get my voice out on some games that I really love playing. And I'll see you guys. Well, I'll let you guys say bye-bye first.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll remember you in therapy.
Jonah, you don't sound enthusiastic there. You're like, see ya.
Well,
So
nice
I
talking.
just can't think of anything else to say it good. I'm terrible at this kind of stuff.
Alrighty.
Okay, nice talking to you all, including
Alright,
you, Mark.
yep, and see you guys later. This is the Zookstar 1000
Chief
saying...
Shadow 1750.
This
You guys
is
say...
this is the
Oh, yeah.
This is Sen guy.
This is TMcBee.
ArmageddonsWii.
Spike Hedge Lion 8.
TheFemaleRed.
And we see you all later. And as a wee tribute to Gex Up, let's all say Boo Chow at the same time. Boo Chow!
Ciao.
Legit. Maybe.
And legit, sorry.